Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. Very happy to have you with us, whether on the live call or on the replay. And also very happy that Benjamin Bernstein is back on the show. He joined us many times. I think many of you already know him. And for those of you who are new to him, he is a Best Astrologer winner, hosts award winner, and he did more than 8,000 astrology, shamanic healing, and life coaching sessions. And yeah, always feel excited. I feel excited when he joins us because I really love his work, like from my personal experience with him in the sessions I received or when experiencing his invocations, which are really, really powerful. How to say, like the guidance he gives and the information it's very helpful. It gives so much clarity about our path and how can we navigate like the challenges or the unknown that we face in our journey. And also through the invocation, it just the experience can be very, very deep, very powerful. And I really love them. And we experienced some of them here on the show before. So yeah, very happy that he is back. And the subject today is how to illuminate these challenging times with love and light. So yeah, so he will be sharing about how can we maintain and strengthen our spiritual awakening through like the challenges or the dark energies that we are experiencing on Earth. And so he will be talking a little deeper about that, and also we'll have a Q&A where you can ask him your questions. So as always, if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing react or reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press *9, and also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And yeah, so with that, Benjamin, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Oh, so glad to be back, Monsef. I'm so glad to be here.
Wonderful. And maybe I would love if you can give us a brief introduction about your work, your invocations, and the AstroShaman work you are doing in general.
Sure, I'll just give the quick overview. Actually, I've updated some of the info since what you just
Okay.
announced. Um, my main business is astroshaman.com, and there I do one-on-one work with clients, mostly over Zoom. I do astrology readings, I do shamanic healing, I do life coaching, and I have another service called Deep Dive Trauma Healing, where we go deep for many hours. I also have a membership called Awakening Plus. That's been around for over 5 years, and that's an online group that helps you significantly accelerate your healing and awakening process. We do 12 to 15 Zoom events per month, and most of them go in the archive. The archive is now over 850 archived events. We've even got a best of page where the very best ones go in by category. So it's very easy to say, okay, I want this kind of experience, and that flavor looks good to me right now. And the live events, forgive me, the recorded events are just as powerful as the live ones. I've had members tell me that for years. I also do, I'm on YouTube also doing astrology forecasts. I've hosted a podcast called This Week in Astrology for, gosh, over 20 years now. And I forecast the sky astrology that's affecting everybody and how to work skillfully with that. That's the best of you were referring to. That is the award-winning podcast. I've got another one, Awaken, Heal, and Thrive, that I occasionally put out an episode, but there's over 50 episodes up there that are more on awakening, healing, and thriving that usually don't involve astrology. And I do other stuff too. I've got a book that's been out a few years now, a #1 Amazon bestseller. It's called Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. And we'll be definitely drawing from some of that book's contents to support us here in this. So I could go on, but that's probably enough of an intro for now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Benjamin. And yeah, so regarding our subject is about how can we maintain our spiritual awakening, and also you are talking that's in like the challenges that we are experiencing as a collective in planet Earth currently, as there are dark energies showing up on the surface, and how can we? So the question is, Can you tell us maybe more about that, and how do you see the energies around the planet right now?
Okay. And again, everything I say here is my opinion. I don't claim to be, channeling all this from on high or anything, but this is my best understanding of what's happening. We definitely, in recent decades, have seen a rise of authoritarianism. We very much are seeing it in the United States right now. To my view, Trump is trying to become the king of the United States and of the world if he can. So he's doing everything he can to consolidate power. He is aligned with an energy that is very, in my experience, dark and oppressive, and it is spreading nationally and globally. And since he took office and started doing all the stuff he's doing, things have gotten much heavier and more intense and challenging. Um, and he's using, in terms of political, he's totally following the authoritarian playbook of how to take over a democratic country if he can. There's also a lot of occult energy behind him. Now, I don't know if he's doing this consciously or if he's unaware of this level of what's happening, but there's a very intense dark energy behind him. And I have actually been attacked by it in very obviously one time. So, as a light worker, if you're here to be a vehicle of love and light, then it's a lot of heavy energy to work against. I mean, I'm 65 years old. I've never felt energy this heavy and this oppressive ever. And so, we're coming to a really critical juncture in global history, I believe, where it's really important that we light workers step up and be as luminous and bright as we can. One critical thing to understand about how any dark side operator functions, their desire is to stir up your negative thoughts and emotions, and that's how they feed on you. So any dark actor, they're going to try to get you angry or scared or insecure or worried. And to the degree they can do that, and to the degree that you're feeling challenging emotions because of what they're doing, they actually siphon energy from you and pull it back to themselves. Again, I don't know if he does it consciously or not, but someone like Trump, just excels at one shock after another, just one crazy thing that makes people outraged or upset or scared. And every time he does that, another wave of energy goes to him and feeds him. So, and this happens, I mean, he's not the only one ever doing this. This is a classic dark side strategy that's probably been around as long as humans have. But just be aware, if you're getting stirred up and angry or troubled by what's happening, you're feeding the dark side by doing that. Now, if you can't help it, that's understandable. But what I believe is that if you want to be an effective counteragent to that, then your job is A, to establish the strongest embodied awakening that you can, so that you are functioning every day in your life as an awakened human. And that makes you far more balanced and harmonious and stable. And it's a lot more difficult to rock you and stir up those lower chakras to feed the dark side from. What this path requires is not only practices that increase your light and divine consciousness, but part and parcel with this is doing your shadow work. I've been on the spiritual path for almost 50 years. I've done ayahuasca ceremonies for over 20 years. And I've done so much shadow work. I mean, I couldn't even, it's just been a lifestyle for a long time now. And I still get stuff stirred up. So I don't know any humans, and I know some who are profoundly awakened who don't still get challenged, who don't still get stuff stirred up. So the key is to assume that you're going to be stirred up by one thing or another. And the attitude I like to take is, okay, if I'm feeling challenging emotion right now, then that has exposed to me some trauma or weakness within myself that I have not yet healed. Theoretically, if you had a human who was 100% healed and had no trauma left, there'd be nothing that could phase that person. They would be in equanimity nonstop and nothing would trouble it. Again, I don't know any such people. But theoretically, if you had no trauma to be triggered, then you'd just stay harmonious. By the way, this doesn't mean you wouldn't be an effective actor. Such a being, dedicated to service could be a profoundly more effective service agent than someone who wasn't getting stirred up and angry. So anger has its uses, but it's not a good long-term strategy for motivation. So back to So if you're getting stirred up, my response is okay. In fact, just this morning I got some stuff stirred up and I sat and had to clear this. And I said, okay, where is it? And I feel where the heavy energy is. And what I've also learned is if I can call my divine helpers to do the healing and awakening for me, they can do it so much better than Benjamin ever could. I don't think there's an ego, no matter how skillful on the planet, just a human working on their own, that can do healing or awakening a fraction as well as their higher self can already do it for them. So for over 14 years, my strategy now has been, okay, we're going to delegate that healing and awakening work to the divine part that is just flat out better and always will be than any human. So in this case, what I did earlier today is I said, okay, I'm feeling all stirred up in my third chakra and my heart chakra. So I said, maximum healing that serves highest good, please. And then the follow up to that was I then just rested attention where I was feeling the discomfort. And I felt those energies come in. They started to shake, they shake my body and start stir up the stuff. And then I felt it start to flush out my hands and feet. And it took a few minutes, but eventually that stuff cleared and I felt so much better and lighter. The cool thing about doing an effective piece of shadow work is it always leads to a deeper spiritual awakening. My own experience was after, longing for it for a long time, I finally attained embodied awakening that lasted back in 2012. And the experience was so ecstatic, so far beyond what I could have imagined. I wondered, oh my God, did I just hit the jackpot? Did I just have the full and final awakening? Because I truly can't imagine bliss any better than what I'm feeling right now. But since then I started having more awakenings and I realized, oh my God, that was just barely off the starting line compared to what's happening now. And pretty regularly, I occasionally get another awakening. I'll purge out some heavy stuff that's in the way of it, and that clears, and then there's the next awakening right there. By the way, if you're hearing any background noise, there are some lawn people outside, but hopefully Zoom is muting those out. So the good news is you can pretty well bet you're going to get stirred up from time to time, whether it's deliberate dark side actors or people who mean well, but they are catalyzing you for one reason or another. The motivation of the catalyst doesn't really matter for our purposes, but you can say, if I've got something stirred up and I can call my higher self or a divine ally to work this for me. You ask for the healing, you passively receive it, you just feel the stuff stirring up and flushing away. And then by the time the stuff is cleared, you have now actually woken up a little more than you were before, and you have a new baseline of awakening, which of course will get even better the next time you clear some stuff. So my experience is that effective shadow work equals automatic awakening. And I've had so many awakenings since that big one I talked about that I've lost track. I can't even count them anymore. They just keep coming. So and I was the slow kid on the block. I mean, I spent decades of spiritual practice trying to gain awareness in the realms, and I couldn't feel anything, couldn't see anything. I was just so thick as a brick. And despite my best efforts and all these disciplined practices, it wasn't really till I started working with ayahuasca and San Pedro, these powerful psychoactive plant spirit teachers, that I started getting my stuff cleared away. Now, and my belief is if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I struggled a long time to try to gain any kind of inner awareness. Now, again, that doesn't mean you have to go do a psychoactive plant spirit ceremony. Many people I work with are already very empathic and they've been aware of this stuff from day one. So, everyone is called to the particular modalities that work for them. But I've kind of given some examples here, but back to your core question, Monsef. So basically, if you want to be an effective spreader of love and light on the planet, if you want to do your part to keep the authoritarian dark forces from just taking over and dominating globally, then I mean, some of us may be called to external action, and that's fine if that's your called path. But for many of us, we'll be working it from the inside. And even you awakening yourself and healing yourself, even if you take no overt external action, that will actually help the collective because we are all linked to each other. The Hindus call this Indra's web. A scientist might call it the butterfly effect. But basically, if you have a shift of consciousness, that radiates out to all other beings and makes it just a little bit easier for everyone else to have the healing or awakening kind of thing that you just had. So basically, work your own stuff first. When you awaken enough, then you'll start getting intuitive guidance to serve in other ways. And each of us is internally guided. And as we awaken more, we're given more service opportunities. And as we awaken more, we gain greater capacities beyond what we might have thought was possible. And it just keeps this wonderful virtuous cycle, more awakening, more capability, more service capacity, the knowing that you can serve in ways you never would have dreamed of before. So that's why I'm very hopeful about the current times. Sometimes it takes a really big catalyst like we're having now with all the authoritarian energy rising on the planet to really motivate us light workers to step up our game and really get serious about our awakening and service to the path of light. So that's an extremely long-winded answer, Monsef. Sorry if I went on too long there.
No, no, not at all. That was I really loved your answer, and it reminds me of a discussion I had recently with friends when one she felt more like fighting because she was feeling angry about what's going on, and she
Mm-hmm.
was more about like fighting what's happening. And the other one, he was also telling her that when you are doing that, you are feeding them the energy that they want. And this
Yeah.
is what you just mentioned right now. And yeah, I love that you talked about the importance of our inner power, even though many times because we can feel easily triggered, but what is
Mm-hmm.
happening. So we don't believe that this is real, but it can really make a difference. And yeah, yeah, thank you for that. And one of one of the things that you mentioned is um, how can we deal with those dark energies is to merge with them. And I found this very interesting. So I would love if you can maybe tell us more about that.
Okay, so this is something I've experienced over and over again, and I've guided clients, then it works for them as well. So basically, step one is you have to get into awakening. So you have to be the divine consciousness first. Fortunately, that is extremely simple, and I was given an invocation by divine inspiration, which is just maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. And if you say those words or think them and address them to your higher self, and then you just go passive and just feel the energy come in, which it will as soon as you say those words, and just relax. If you're fully passive, you'll feel this divine energy soaking into you like you're a sponge and it's water soaking in. And you just wait until you feel saturated. And then once that's, now there's a little more to this, but I'm just giving the overview. Then once you're saturated, if you can say, okay, if there's no mental chatter, no challenging emotion, I'm peaceful, and all this is holding without effort, and I can even do it with my eyes open, you're in embodied awakening. At least a starter awakening. I mean, you can always get better awakenings. The quality never stops rising. But if you got that much, if you can say, yes, I am just pure consciousness, and I can tell it's more than just my human awareness, then you can hold that awareness into anything dark. Like I just gave the example of the healing invocation I used earlier today. Um, so basically, there was dark stuff there, and I asked my divine for help, and then I just held awareness there. And when divine light is held in an area where there's darkness, there's really only two things that can happen. Either the dark energy leaves or it turns to love and light. It transmutes. So it can be, and there's many beautiful spiritual practices around the world. Like I was a Vipassana Buddhist for 5 years, and we were told just sit with what's happening, just be with it, and don't try to change it, just experience it. And that practice was just sitting with whatever was arising, whether it was an emotion or a thought or a vision or whatever it was. Uh, my experience has been that it is focusing on the feeling and letting everything else be in the background that is the most effective. If you get caught up in thoughts or images, it's so easy to get lost in that. And I haven't found those focuses to be very effective for healing. But if you keep returning to just the sensation in the body or in the light body, if that's where you're feeling it, and you're just present there, then that which you are that is paying attention to that will either help it flush away or change to love and light. So theoretically, you could just be present, pure awareness, and given enough time and energy, that could be enough to clear it. However, if you're in embodied awakening, if you are consciously functioning as divinity yourself, and you are the divine light that is paying attention to it, then it's far more effective. And if you're still identifying it all as a human in this moment, where you feel, well, yeah, I know I got a higher self and I can kind of feel it, but mainly I'm feeling like a human, then you want to ask your higher self to do that for you. And then the human just pays attention the best it can. It's a spectrum of how much is this a human awareness holding attention versus the divine part of you paying attention. It just depends how awake you are. But the basic idea is if there's just pure awareness being held, the more you're awakened and the more consciousness you have there as divinity in that space, the quicker it'll flush away and heal. And that's the only technique that's required is just pure awareness. Now, again, optimally, in a perfect situation, you would be in embodied awakening and you would say a healing invocation to activate that which is beyond your current awakening level to come help you, because you've got even things beyond your higher self, parts of you that can assist as well. And then you, though, hold awareness, be present, and then it should flush out or transmute to love and light. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does, absolutely. Thank you. And so I understand that this, like, reaching that state of being comes with regular practice. And like you mentioned, with also the invocation, like the more we do that, the more like we experience a deeper stage of awakening.
Yeah, if it works for you. I mean, I've given these invocations to thousands of people, and the vast majority tell me, wow, that works really fast. So it seems to be a technique that works for the vast majority, at least the people I've worked with. And the people who've reviewed my book on Amazon, most of the people who've left reviews I've never worked with, but they're saying, well, I learned the invocation in the book, I did it, and it worked. And let me emphasize how fast these things are. Most people who are using embodied awakening invocation, they'll say the words and relax, and they report they can usually get into awakening in 5 or 10 seconds. I mean, you think, oh my God, that should take hours, right? But it doesn't have to, because you're invoking the part of you that's already awake. Your higher self is already awake compared to your human self. And when it comes and merges with you, it brings the awakening with it. And if you let it in, then you're awake. In fact, there's a conscious shift where you actually at that moment become the higher self driving the human body. I use a car metaphor. It's like the ego voluntarily moves to the passenger seat, the divine drives, and as soon as the divine is driving, you're awakened. So again, this is not the ultimate, final and complete awakening, if there is such a thing, but you're awake enough that you're functioning at a much more powerful level. And again, my experience and that of the awakened people I ask about this is the awakening just keeps incrementally deepening. So that is, and again, the healing invocation, that can take longer. It just depends on the scenario. Part of it depends on how awakened you are, and it depends how sticky what you're working on is, and how well you're able to just focus on the feeling of what's happening. I've had healing invocations that worked in a few seconds. I've had stuff I've sat with for hours. It just depends on what it is and how sticky it is. So, but usually embodied awakening can happen pretty quickly. And also, I'll mention I've been giving these tools for 14 years, and I usually ask people when I give it to them, okay, if you know now or later learn of a DIY technique that works better than these invocations, that are more quick, easy, and effective for healing or awakening, would you please tell me about that? Because I give these because they're the best tool I'm aware of. But if someone comes back and says, I got one that works even better, I would happily drop the invocations I teach and teach whatever the better thing is, but no one's ever come back with the superior method. So I keep hoping there's a better one out there I haven't found yet. But in the meantime, what appears to be the case is that these work really well. And most of the people I give them to say, wow, this is actually more effective than whatever I've been doing. And so my philosophy is if you're serious about healing and awakening, then you want to always be using the most efficient tool or technique available to do that work. And again, the core paradigm I now work from is if my divinity, my higher self, and those divine parts of me can do something better than Benjamin can, then my optimal strategy is to delegate it to them and let Benjamin just passively be the beneficiary of what they're doing for me. And I've literally never myself or seen anyone invoke healing or awakening from the higher self and ever had that higher self refuse. They'll always help you. So they'll always come, and then the degree to which you benefit is just how fully can I just relax, be passive, and let them do the work.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Benjamin. And would you like to share more about the subjects, or do we take questions from the audience?
Questions feel good.
Right. So
Sure.
yeah, everyone. So if you want to ask your question, you can raise your hand by pressing reacts or reaction on Zoom, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press *9, and also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And what kind of questions are you open to in general?
You're asking me what kind of questions?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, ideally something that relates to healing or awakening or working with the challenging energies on the planet right now. Something
Wonderful.
that relates to our topic would be great.
Yeah. So yeah, so we have a phone caller, phone number ending with 505. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi.
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 What is your name?
Hi. I'm Pam in Toronto. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome
Good. Thank
to the
you.
show.
I just was wondering if Ben can see if there's any dark energy causing a sciatica pain that I've had for months on my right side, going down my leg, sometimes it's tingling.
Yes, I do perceive that in you. I think you're perceiving that correctly.
So can it be healed, or what do I do?
Yes, and what I would recommend you try is the healing invocation. And what you could do there is just, again, so for starters, again, I would recommend getting it. Now, we're not going to do this live because this is not, individual healings are not our focus today. But what you can do on your own later is you can just say maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please to your higher self. Relax, let it fill you as much as it can. So you want to be as awakened as you can. Then then notice this dark energy you're talking about and just feel it. I like to just give it a 0 to 10. 10 would be just really intense and challenging. 0 would be there's no problem at all. So give it a number rating. Then say maximum healing that serves highest good, please, and follow that up with just feeling the challenging sensations you're talking about, and just be with it and keep returning to simple somatic awareness of what's happening. And you will probably feel that energy starting to get stirred up and hopefully flushed away or turned to love and light. And just try to stay with it as long as you can. And then once you feel like that round has run itself out, you'll feel the energy just complete its work. Then check again, rate it 0 to 10, and see if the intensity has gone down or to 0. And if the round completes and it's not at 0, you can do an additional round. And the cool thing about extra rounds is they're usually 10 times faster than the round before it. So if round 1 took 10 minutes, usually round 2 is about a minute, and a third round would often just be a few seconds. So it's worth the follow-up rounds to see if they can kind of clear up what they can't get the first time. One thing I didn't mention that's really important, especially with the healing invocation, is you'll never be overwhelmed by the work I'm giving you, because your higher self will be monitoring you constantly. It knows what your capacity is, and it's going to be monitoring you constantly to make sure it doesn't go over that. It may get intense. You will never get overwhelmed doing any of these invocations I'm giving. So you're perfectly safe to be fully present with whatever sensations are arising. Another corollary is you don't have to know anything about what it is. All you have to know is it doesn't feel good. And you'll get one of two kinds of healings this way. One is you'll feel the stuff flush away and you'll never have any idea what it was. Those I call ignorance is bliss healings. And your higher self said, they're better off not knowing. Just let it clear and let it go, right? Other times it's really important that you know what it is. And then the higher self will drop into thought or image to let you know what's being cleared. You say, okay, thanks for telling me. And then you just let that go and go back to feeling again, because it's the sensation awareness, in my experience, that clears the stuff fastest. So that's what I would
Okay.
recommend trying with that dark stuff on the right side of your body.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Pam. Much love. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, Benjamin, for the guidance. And let's see. Tatiana, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. I'm also struggling with pain in my upper neck. It's at the base of my skull, and I feel that there is a block there. Could you please help me understand what it is and how to let it go?
I would give you exactly the same instructions I gave the lady before you. Get into embodied awakening, rate the intensity 0 to 10, and then say the healing invocation, and just hold awareness there while your higher self takes care of the issue. They're not giving me information about exactly what it is, and actually they're saying it would be nice for you to experience that you can clear it without even knowing what it is intellectually. So I would recommend you try the healing invocation on that and see if that's helpful. And see if that's helpful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tatiana. Yeah.
Now, can I mention there's something I called to say now. It's very difficult to stay strong on this path on your own, and it really helps to have a support network to help you. Now, of course, you've got your divine support network, but it helps to have human beings too. So if you've got a spiritual community you're part of, in person or online, and you're getting genuine help and support at the level you need, then you're good. One thing, the special thing we're offering at the end here is a special discounted 1-year membership in my Awakening Plus membership. And that community helps people do this. In fact, every week do an event called Individual, Group, and Global Healing, where members can get in what most people call it the hot seat. We call it the love seat. And then everyone else on the call flows healing energy to them. And this actually works as well, even if you do the recording after. Let me clarify. If you want to receive healing, you have to be on the live call, which we do weekly on different days so people can get into it. But the healings members report are pretty extraordinary. The cool thing about that event, though, is even if you're not in the love seat, and typically 4 or 5 members can get the love seat on an event, this bounce back healing happens where even folks who come in via the recording feel profound healing for themselves. In fact, when I look at the chat feedback at the end of the event, most of the strongest healings are reported by people who weren't even in the love seat. So this is just an example. Awakening Plus is one such container. There's lots and lots of beautiful containers out there for healing support. But having some kind of group to help you, it's just too easy if you're solo to get kind of covered over by dark stuff and not even know it. I've had more than one incident where, without even realizing, I got kind of infiltrated by dark stuff and finally realized what was happening and got cleaned up again. But oftentimes, and this is another topic we had for discussion, is the subtle infiltration that can happen. Not long ago, I started believing that I didn't have to do my daily practices because I'm so awake. I don't need to meditate anymore. I'm just there. I'm good, right? So, and I believed that for several weeks until I went into ayahuasca ceremony and was shown, man, you are so infiltrated. What were you thinking? And I fortunately got a lot of that heavy stuff cleared. And now I'm very regular with my practices, because even in a state where I've got a solid awakening and it never actually leaves, that subtle stuff can still happen. It's kind of like you've got a dresser you just dusted, and the next day there might be a little bit of dust. And if you don't dust it, a little more. And if you just don't dust it for a long time, that dust can get pretty thick. And here's the reality I experience. If you're a light worker, you will attract the attention of beings who are dark workers, and their job is to neutralize you. and they will look, is there any trauma they haven't healed that I can exploit? Is there any weakness we can take advantage of? Can we corrupt them and bring them over to the dark side? That actually happens, okay? So just be aware, part of being on the path of love and light is you will be challenged by dark side energies, whether it's a human deliberately doing that, whether it's a human who doesn't even realize they're doing it, but is giving you that challenging catalyst anyway, whether it's a non-physical being doing this, all these things can happen and do. So just be aware, part of being on the path is being alert to how am I being challenged and or infiltrated, and then having the means to counteract that. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just reporting the way it is in my experience. I don't know a single person who's attained a significant awakening who hasn't repeatedly encountered these kind of challenges. So it's just how it works on 3D Earth. You're on the path of love and light. There will be counter forces who will try to neutralize you one way or another. So it's just part of how you grow and evolve. And I love how the Law of One Channel material describes it. They say these dark beings actually serve us in a weird way, because if we just got to a certain awakening and it was all bliss and rainbows and unicorns, we'd probably hang out at that level. We'd be perfectly happy and wouldn't really be motivated to go on. But if we've got a challenging catalyst coming, it's okay. Oh, you're still weak there. Let me see if I can, get you stirred up there and draw energy from you and all the things that dark people do. Then you go, okay, I'm feeling challenged. That can only mean that I have another trauma I need to heal, a weakness that needs strengthening, a capacity I need to develop further. I need to basically go to my next level of evolution and growth. And you can be thankful to whatever person or situation caused the challenge to you, because that was your spur to growth. That's the sand in the oyster that you can turn into the next pearl. So I just wanted to add that related thought as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for sharing that and for the guidance to Tatiana. Let's see. We have a question from Vanessa on YouTube. How do I open my heart? Sorry. How do I open my heart more in the face of separation when there is so much discord between me and my partner to help us heal?
Okay. All right. So first off, you're obviously feeling some discomfort in your heart chakra. So that's where you use the healing invocation, at least I would. Again, I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, but it's the same basic strategy no matter what the catalyst is. Okay. First, invoke your awakening, get as awakened as you can using the embodied awakening invocation, if that tool works for you, or whatever you do that gets you in the maximum awakened state. And then just try that healing invocation. Say maximum healing that serves highest good, please. Focus in the area where you feel the blockage in the heart chakra and just be there with it and give your higher self a chance to stir it up and flush it away. And again, I said that already, but let me add a nuance. After you invoke the healing invocation, this becomes a working partnership between ego and higher self. The human ego's job is to keep feeling what's happening there, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable during this healing invocation. So you've got to stay present with it and keep feeling it no matter how icky it feels. Again, as a reminder, it's not going to overwhelm you. It may be uncomfortable. It will not be too much. But if you're willing to completely feel what's coming up, then it can, basically you'll be feeling whatever's coming up for the last time. It will flush away. When the stuff flushes out, Mother Earth takes it and composts it right away. So whatever you flush away during a healing process like that is never coming back. This is not a Band-Aid where it feels nice for a little while and then the same stuff comes back. Whatever you flush out energetically during a healing vocation, whatever you cleared is done. It's not coming back. Now, there may be more stuff behind it, but what you flush is gone. And just stay present with the sensations. Now, it's very common while this is happening, images will come up, memories, thoughts, all kinds of internal distractions routinely arise during this process, and that's okay. That's what usually happens. And for some period of time, you may get lost in the thought or lost in the imagery, and that happens too. Happens to me, okay? But at some point, you'll remember, oh, I'm supposed to be feeling. And you just gently return your attention to feeling again, and you just keep coming back to feeling. Basically, you're doing this 100% perfect as long as you keep coming back from distraction. You're not expected never to be distracted. That's not realistic for the vast majority of us, including me. So you just keep coming back, feeling again. Every time you return your attention to the feeling, the higher self turns it up 100%. Basically, if you get distracted, you're not focusing anymore, the healing stops or slows down. As soon as the ego returns its attention to the sensations, the healing turns back on again. So again, your human must stay in partnership with feeling what's happening to get the full effect of the healing. Um, I'm trying to feel anything else between you and this partner. Yeah, no more information is coming specifically about your situation, but I would try that and just recognize that even if you at the ego level aren't really sure the source of the closed heart or whatever it is, the higher self does know that and can help you with that.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for the guidance, and also thank you, Vanessa, for your question. And we'd love to hear from you, your feedback. You can type it on the chat if you feel guided to. And we will continue with the questions in a little bit. Just before that, I would love if you can tell us about the 1 year membership of Awakening Plus that you are offering to our audience at
For sure.
50% discount. And I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, BENJAMIN. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom, and I will also put it on YouTube. So yeah, Benjamin, I would love if you can tell us about Awakening Plus.
Okay. Yeah, I've said a little bit about it, but let me recap. So again, this is an online membership that I host. Just as a recap, we do anywhere from 12 to 15 live events per month. These are mostly events that focus on direct experience of accelerated healing or awakening. They go from very gentle to really intense, and we have a variety of flavors throughout the month you can try. We also have events that are designed for community support. We have every month we have a community support call. We have office hours every month where you can just come in and talk to me one-on-one or in small groups. There's an Ask Us Anything event. So there's a little bit of intellectual stuff, but mostly it's experiential. During the events, I'll be holding energy. I'm a shaman, so I might be singing and rattling and doing like ayahuasca songs to move and empower energy. So you show up basically to be healed and awakened is the main focus we have. We do have a wonderful signal group. Weird colon thing. Jumped on something, sending
Oh, hello, Benjamin.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me again?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what happened there, but I was gone for a second.
I thought it was on my end. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where it was, but we're back. That's what matters. So I was mentioning there's also 6 courses in Awakening Plus. Some are really deep and extensive, some are really short. There's more courses coming. So it's a very comprehensive support for your awakening. And basically, if you're vibing with my energy, then you might enjoy the membership. The actual offer we're offering is normally a year of Awakening Plus is $199. It's $99 through Monsef and Your Divine Uniqueness, and it's also guaranteed. If you sign up for the $99 for a year, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If at any time up to 30 days, I tried it, it's not my thing, just pop me an email, let me know. You'll get a complete refund and no hard feelings. So it's risk-free, and if you feel like you could really use some meaningful, powerful support where you never have to leave home, but you've got this powerful online community and events process supporting you, then you might want to check it out. The invocations I've talked about, we do those a lot. We also do many other modalities. We actually, gosh, we have so many different events that my challenge is to try to squeeze them all into a good schedule. So you'll never lack for variety or intensity. And the other thing to know is that energy doesn't keep up distance. Um, Awakening Plus obviously is all online, but even my client work, I do over 95% of my client work on Zoom or phone. And I've had many clients I've worked in person, I've worked on Zoom, they say there's no difference. Your work is just as potent energetically, whether I'm half a world away or right there in the room with you. And the Awakening Plus has definitely proven over and over again, you can get the full benefit of this energetic healing and awakening process, no matter where you're coming in from. And even if you're just doing the recording instead of the live event, so you can do them on your schedule if you prefer. So that's probably a decent overview of the membership.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Really happy that you are offering the membership to our audience here on the show. And yeah, I really love your work, as I mentioned in the beginning, like from my personal experience with you and also using the invocations. Really love the work you are doing. I love the energy that you put into it. And also I remember I joined your group one time and really loved the space and the energy that you created there. So
Thank you.
yeah, really, really honored to share your work with our audience again here. So thank you for that. And again, everyone, you can sign up for Maria. She wrote, what time is the events?
Okay, various times. We do them we always have a Monday and Wednesday night event. The events are usually at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. There are often Tuesday night events, and there's sometimes Thursday events. We also occasionally have Sunday events at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we have, most nights of the week during a month, there will be some event on most of those nights or days. But again, what I've done is every year I do a big member survey and I say, okay, what's the best meeting time? And year after year, they say 8 p.m. Eastern is the best starting time for me. So it's an overwhelming preference. So that's why we put our events at that time. However, like I said, believe it or not, most members don't do any live events. The majority of the members just do the recordings. So given that, the live event timing is not really so critical because you can literally get awesome benefit just working entirely with the recordings. So there is that factor as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much. And yeah, so again, everyone, you can sign up for the membership, Awakening Plus membership, on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, BENJAMIN. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. We have a feedback from Vanessa on YouTube. Thank you, Benjamin. I will try this to allow us to heal our connection so that our children don't suffer.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
let's minimize that suffering.
Thank you, Vanessa. And let's see. We have a question from Linda. Can we use this for vitality? I think she means the invocation. I have never had a problem. Yeah, vitality.
Oh, absolutely. There's actually 4 basic types of invocations. I've mentioned the ones for embodied awakening and for healing. There's also what's called a custom invocation, where you can ask for any kind of energy you want. And the formula for that is maximum fill in the blank that serves highest good, please. And if you want to say maximum vitality that serves highest good, please, whatever you plug into the blank and call for, as soon as you invoke it, if you just then relax and be completely passive, your higher self will then pour that energy right in the top of your head and give you as much of the particular flavor of energy that you asked for. It's a little bit like the Matrix movie where Neo gets it down and said, "Oh, I know Kung Fu," kind of thing. Except you don't have to practice. You just get the energetic download on the spot. So yeah, you can totally invoke vitality or any other energy you want. Just ask for maximum, whatever that serves highest good, please. But again, all invocations need to be followed by absolute passivity. Just chill and let your higher self bring to you the thing you asked for.
Yeah, beautiful. And she mentioned later that it's related to manifestation, because normally she doesn't have problem with that, but the most important one, like she feels like a dark force knocks her out, and she ends up falling asleep.
Okay. Yeah. Now sleepiness, there's, I've many times members say, oh, I keep falling asleep in your events. What's going on? Okay. And sometimes you're just tired and you need to sleep. So that can be one reason. Another is, and I've had this experience many times, when you're going to a new level you haven't been to before, sometimes the human part of you can't stay awake there yet. So there's a part of you that is conscious there, but the human's not aware of it yet. And then what I found is that with repetition, you just go back to that level again, just invoke it repeatedly, and eventually you will be able to stay conscious there. Now, there are also times when you're having a really heavy duty healing, and what needs to happen would actually be more than your human self can tolerate, in which case you will be given what I call spiritual anesthesia. So here's the healing, and your human will black out. They'll do the healing while your human self is asleep. And as soon as it's done, they'll wake you back up. I've had experiences where they knocked me out and did the big healing, and then I came to consciousness and the healing was done. So those are various reasons why. Now it's possible that a malevolent force could be trying to put you to sleep. I've had experiences too during spiritual processes where all of a sudden I was just so tired, and the fatigue was like a heavy lead blanket on me. And I realized, okay, this is a challenge, um, and I just would like invoke maximum vitality and alertness, and it would just I would just turn back on with my alertness again. So those are the different reasons why I've seen people have problems falling asleep or losing alertness in spiritual situations. So I hope that was a helpful response.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Benjamin, and thank you, Linda, for your question. We'd love to hear feedback. You can type it if you feel guided to. And Annette, she wrote, can you share a bit about a profound and valuable ayahuasca experience?
That's all of them. So I've been working with ayahuasca mostly, as well as San Pedro mushrooms, for 20 years. I've done over 350 ceremonies. I'm in ceremony every month with an amazing shaman who lives here in my region. And to me, ayahuasca just keeps doing such amazing things for me. The reason, I keep doing ayahuasca after all this time, someone once asked, well, when will you be done drinking ayahuasca? I said, that's not how it works. Not for me anyway. So I, anyone is at a certain level of awakening, a certain level of consciousness. And the way the universe, you're oblivious to whatever is beyond there. You know, I don't know if there is a final awakening, and chances are very good that however awakened you may be, there's an even more awesome awakening beyond the next one, beyond the level you're at. So what ayahuasca does, when I go into the ceremony, she can say, okay, he's got that heavy stuff, whether it's trauma or dark energy or whatever it is, and that is blocking him from that next awakening. And when the time is right, ayahuasca says, let's clear that stuff away and get him to that next level. So I'll be in ceremony, and then I'll have this intense cleansing. And, this can look like body shaking or vomiting or dry heaving, and just, heavy energy release one way or another, sweating, whatever it takes. And what I've learned to do, I've gotten reasonably good at this over all these years, is I just let the purging happen, and I don't resent it or resist it. I just say, hey, this is what it takes to get there. And I just let the purging go as long as it needs to go in whatever way it's happening. And once that stuff is clear, then it takes me to the next awakening. And every awakening is a surprise. Like I said, I've lost track of how many incremental awakenings I've had over the years. All I can tell you is every single one is even more magnificent than the one before it. Sometimes you get an awakening and there's new capabilities that come online, new ways to conceive how you can serve in a more beautiful way than you have. You literally become superhuman. And I say that because you are no longer operating just from the human five senses capabilities. You are now conscious as divinity, and you can get to where the human part of you is a small percentage of what you're aware of. And this stuff sounds crazy until you get there, and then it just becomes awesome. So, so the reason I keep doing ayahuasca, it's the best way I know in my own experience to reliably and regularly have that next level of stuff that I don't even know is there. All I know is I'm awake to a certain degree, but this medicine is so intelligent and so powerful, and the container that is created in these ceremonies is so incredible because it's the medicine, it's the shaman, it's all the people in the room creating the shared space. And in that environment, that stuff can be cleared, and I can pop to the next awakening and stabilize there until the next awakening after that comes along. So for me, it's the most reliable version of work that can accelerate my awakening because I'm a light worker. I'm on the side of love and light here, and I want to do whatever I can to be a force of love and light to help, overcome the darkness that is so strong right now. And also I've got my clients and my Awakening Plus members, and I got to stay ahead of them. If I'm not more awakened than they are, then there's only so much good I can do them, right? So I have to kind of stay ahead of the curve. I've got a lot of members awakening really fast, and I need to try to stay ahead of them so I can, offer them something they don't have yet. So that's kind of part of my motivation for what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Now, again, by
wonderful.
the way, nothing would delight me more than to have a member awaken past the point I'm at and blow past me. I would love that when it happens. So at that point, they probably wouldn't need me anymore, but I would be just delighted if a person accomplished that, which I'm sure some of the members have over time.
Yeah, wonderful. Annette Girod, thank you so much. I appreciate your authenticity very much. And also
Thank you.
feedback from Linda. Thank you so much. It really resonates with me, and I am grateful for the insights.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Maybe one more question from SW. The question is, what do I need? Can you help me figure it out? Oftentimes I feel lost.
Okay. So what I would recommend is if you're lost, that means you're not getting your clear intuitive guidance yet, which means you need to wake up some more so that that guidance will become clear. Again, when you call your higher self into your human body, that's where your guidance comes from. We all have intuition that pops in here or there, just little knowings, whether it's a flash or a flow of information. And intuition is identifiable in the following way, which I've verified with hundreds of clients over the years. When a real intuition comes, there's absolute certainty the instant it arrives, even if you throw doubt on it a second later. And it's a somatic confirmation. The things people say when they get one is, I know it in my bones. I got a gut feeling. I got a full body yes. The confirmation is in the way it feels in your body. And that lets you know it's the real deal. That's your higher self dropping you a hint. Okay. So if you're not getting those, and if to say you're lost means you're not receiving the guidance, or else you would know where you're going. Okay. So you just need to dedicate yourself to your healing and awakening. I would, if my invocation works well for you, or the Awakening Plus container supports you, just start calling in that awakening in whatever way works best for you. Get serious with your shadow work. So when you have uncomfortable emotions, you have your higher self or some divine force flush that away for you. And you'll start getting more and more clear as those layers of muck start getting washed away that are blocking your clear intuitive awareness of what to do. So step one, when all you have time and space for is just your own cleanup, that's your service to the collective at that moment. You just clean up the best you can. When you get to a certain level of awakening, you start getting little nudges. Oh, you could serve in this way if you want. Would you like to? And you can start taking those service opportunities and running with them as intuitively guided from inside yourself. And the more awake you are, the more service opportunities you get, the more large scale they can become, etc. So I would just say if you're lost, then double down on your healing and awakening, and then that intuitive clarity will start coming more clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Benjamin. And thank you, SW, for your question. We would love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat. And yeah, so let's see on YouTube. Yeah. So Benjamin, thank you so much for everything you shared today. It was a very inspiring call. Really loved it. Thank you for the guidance and support you gave to our live callers. And yeah, also for being available through the membership that you are offering us here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monsef, for having me again.
Beautiful. SW Roth, thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so everyone, thank you very much for being here with us today, co-creating with us this this beautiful experience, sharing with us your energies, whether on the live call or the replay. And again, you can sign up for the 1-year membership of Awakening Plus with Benjamin on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Benjamin, BENJAMIN. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, the link on YouTube video description, and the chat boxes. And so yeah, with that, everyone, thank you, Maria. With that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye for now.